Okay, it's 5:50 in the morning on Monday. What is wrong with me? Oh, of course, we got the Scourge of Ghyran Kruleboyz update. I briefly had a look while I was walking around in my house coat. Let's have a slightly closer look together. But first, of course, thanks to the sponsors, my patrons, Wybarian, Baron of Dice. Wow. Okay, alright, here they are. I'm scared. Like I said, I looked at them just briefly, but we're going to look at them a little bit more closely together here. Okay, come on, computer. Oh, I should probably just download this so it's not janky. Whatever I get wrong here, whatever I look at and make errors on, you'll have to forgive me. But I think I can. I just couldn't wait. Okay. Swamp Horde Bullies. So this is, of course, our battle formation. Oh, that's interesting. Pick a friendly Kruleboyz unit to be the target. The target must be in combat with an enemy unit that is in combat with another friendly Kruleboyz unit. Right, ganging up. Kragnos cannot be picked to be the target. Okay, reasonable. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the target's melee weapons. Okay, adding 1 to the attack characteristic. So this is any combat phase. So this means that if you have 2 Kruleboyz units in combat, that you can pick one of them, and you can add 1 to the attack characteristic of that unit. So adding an attack characteristic to a unit is a very powerful buff. It's a very powerful buff. This also stacks with crit mortals and with venom encrusted weapons. Very good, right? If we're adding, so let's say that this is and then of course the more attacks that we have per model and the more models that we have, this compounds greater. Like, it's not obviously worse to use on like a foot hero with like a single attack profile, right? With one model with one attack profile, it's at its worst. But if you have, let's say, a reinforced unit of Gutrippaz, that's 20 models, so you're getting 1 attack per model, so you're getting an additional 20 attacks. Is that what I just said? Yeah, you're gaining an additional 20 attacks. You're going from 40 attacks to 60 attacks, and every one of those can proc venom encrusted weapons. So that's, I think, obviously where it's going to be at its best. Reinforced Hobgrots is the same thing. 10 additional dice. So with venom encrusted weapons, 10 additional dice means math. 2 point something crit mortals. In addition, 3.3 crit mortals in addition. Nope, that's wrong. There's 20 extra attacks. So that's an extra 6.6 crit mortals just for this. If you have venom encrusted weapons, and if you have this is the venom encrusted weapon subfaction now, right? I think this is good. This is damage. There's no, and that's what we're missing, right? There's no roll. You don't have to roll to see if you get it. You just have to be in combat with multiple units. You have to be ganging up. So this favors like reinforced Gutrippaz with venom encrusted weapons fighting alongside, you know, heroes and monster killers. Right, this one does not favor bolt boys. You're gonna want to have lots of units to make this happen. This is like a I'm gonna take the middle kind of sub-faction, right? Whatever we fight in the middle, I'm gonna put venom encrusted weapons on my thing, and I'm gonna. This also has this also degrades over the course of the battle. As your units lose more and more of their models, this has less and less of an effect. It also puts a big bullseye on that target. This probably also is nice to go with that 5-up ward. Artifact of Power, right? Because you want to be able to keep this center unit alive, or whatever unit or units you're planning on doing with this. I could see a list here with 2 reinforced units of Gutrippaz. Probably not egomaniac, right? This is probably like a slippery scumbag, Mork's eye pebble sort of list, right? 2 reinforced units of gut rippers, a bunch of monster killers, maybe a killbow, but probably not playing with a lot of bolt boys. Yeah, I mean, is this better than all the sub-factions that we have already? Or battle formations, I should say. Probably. This is probably better than all the battle formations that exist, right? Companion weapons getting crit 2 hits. This is definitely better. Dirty trick roll, the sneaky sneakin'. I mean, at the very beginning at the index, sneaky sneakin' I thought was easily the best, because we were doing our sneaky sneakin' in our enemies phase in addition to our own. So you were just spamming dirty trick sneaks. Cruel Boy Claw, that's you're invisible within terrain. Yeah, and then the extra range. Yeah, I think this one is Swamp Horde Bullies, I think, is the best battle formation that we have right now, without having really looked into the second one. We're lacking damage, guys, and this does it. So someone write me a list. 2 reinforced units of gut rippers with this, you know, slippery scumbag, Mork's eye pebble, and some monster killers, maybe some hobgrots. Probably just the monster killers though. For 30 more points, you're getting so much more value out of them. Okay, up next, this is another battle formation, and this is any combat phase too, by the way. Right, and there's no roll, so it's just like we're gonna pick a unit of gut rippers, and they just get +1 attacks, like for the whole game, pretty much, right? They have to be in a fight with 2 different things, but yeah, interesting. Cruel Mockery. So this is your shooting phase, so 5 times per game. Pick a friendly Kruleboyz unit to be the insult hurler. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of the target. Nice range, not wholly within, just within 18. Then make a dirty trick roll. Boo. Right? So our dirty trick dice are coveted. So this better be really good. Until the start of your next turn, each time the target uses a move ability and does not end that move closer to the insult hurler than it was at the start of the move, inflict d6 mortal damage on the target after the move ability has been resolved. So my first thought on this one is that it's trash. That's my first thought on this one. That was my thought when I read it, when I was literally like rolling out of bed. And here's why. There's 2 big reasons why I think that this one is absolute trash. Let's just have a quick look here. Well, the first reason is because it gives your opponent the choice, right? It gives your opponent the choice. Essentially, if they want to, they don't have to move the unit, or they can move the unit. And they, if they want, they can just take d6 mortal damage, and then it can be a 1, and it's only in your move phase. So it's like this. I'm gonna see. There's gonna be lots of games where this happens, where it's there's gonna be lots of games where this happens, where you're getting almost no value out of this. Okay, I know that this range is not 18 inches. Can I just quickly change it to 18 inches? Like, the range is good, but if we change the range to 18 inches, I think that worked. Okay, so I use my sneaky sneakin', and I teleport my unit into their back line, because I think this is where you would use it at its best, right? So I snuck a unit into the back here. I pick a unit that's within 18 inches, and I say, okay, I insult at you, so you have to end closer to me. Well, what if I kill him? What if he dies? First of all, then I don't have to end closer to him because he's dead, right? It says nothing about that. It just says I do this in my shooting phase, and so my opponent has their hero phase and has like counter charge and has, right, like there's not a ton of options, but there are some options. Second, this technically is closer, so it's actually quite a bit of like, it's not like it's, oh, I have to move here, I have to move closer. This is closer. If this is 18 inches, this is closer. So it's not as effective as you would think. And like I said, what, like, does it say that you have to move closer? But it doesn't matter. Each time they use a move ability. So what else is a move ability besides move? Is a retreat a move ability? So you can't retreat? Well, that doesn't matter. Redeploy is a run. Right? So if they don't use a move, so it's not like you can bait things out from the back line. If you teleport behind them, it's not like you can keep them pinned or keep them moving away from the battle. Like, if you could, that would be better. But that's not going to happen. And then, like I said, if your opponent's like, well, I really want to go this way, so I'm just going to take D6 mortal wounds. Like, what did you do? This guy's like, oh, I take 2 mortal wounds. Okay. I have a ward, so I actually take 0. It's like, okay, so I'm using my battle formation to do what? Yeah. And it's a dirty trick. Trash. First thought, unusable garbage, this. That's my first thought. Good thing we have ganging up. I think this might actually, this will matter, I think. I think ganging up might be the thing that we need to, like, push ourselves back into that, like, B+ range. It's actually good, I think. That's actually good. Okay, next thing. So the next thing up here is monstrous traits. So they're enhancements that can only be given to monsters. So this is just in addition to everything that we already have. Like with these battle formations, if we pick one, we have to not pick the other ones, right, that we already have in the army. But with monstrous traits, these are just in addition to everything else that we already have in the army. So this is just a bonus on top, which is nice. Thank you, GW. Okay, there's 3 to choose from. Passive. There's 2 passives and then a once per battle enemy hero phase. Let's check out the passives first. So keeping in mind what we can actually put this on. We can put this on a kill boss on Nashtooth. We can put this on a break a boss because they can't go on any unique things. Is break a boss a monster? Yes, break a boss is a monster. So break a boss, kill boss on Great Nashtooth, kill boss on Corpse Rip of Vulture, snatch a boss on Sludge Raker Beast. Those are our options, right? 2 mounted kill bosses, snatch a boss, and a break a boss. Those are our 4 options. Okay. Add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made with this unit's companion weapons. So this is really strong on a break a boss, right? A break a boss's companion weapons are where we're doing all of the damage with a break a boss. Not all the damage, right? But it's these Mire Brute clubs. So it brings us from 4s to hit to 3s to hit. We can't get more than this, but it's going to save us a CP. But probably only like twice. So this is going to save us the equivalent of like 2 CP. In it, like, because we're not fighting with this thing for 5 rounds, right? So, but still, like, people are picking, like we saw our game recently with Caleb, where we're taking Prize Beast on this thing because we want this +1 to hit, right? I can't remember. Prize Beast is something else too, but I can't remember. But like, so that's pretty decent, right? There are some other options. But I think the break a boss is where it's at its best. So, like, not bad. Like, yeah, my break a boss hits on 3s now for forever. It's like pretty decent, actually. Next one, toughen. Subtract 1 from the Ren characteristic of weapons used used for the attacks. Sorry, oh my god. Subtract 1 from the Ren characteristic of weapons used for attacks that target this unit. So this to me sounds like a Sludge Raker. Passive. If you're trying to go for like a like a tar pit style, right? I think you could use this as well. You could also put this on you could put this on anything, but to be honest, I think that having more damage is the way you want to go. Like, that's the thing that our army is lacking, and the Break-a-Boss has been really popular lately. So if you're telling me that I can just, like, get essentially another prized beast, but for some reason I just can't seem to remember what prized beast does. Oh, it doesn't bracket? Right? Is that the other thing? It doesn't bracket and it gets +1. I'm having a hard time remembering off the top of my head right now. But still, I think this one's definitely better. I think the tar pit style with like a sludge raker in the middle, giving -1 to wound. And it's only for attacks that target this unit. So, I mean, it's more like, it's probably not even for that. It's probably more like for a Break-a-Boss. But I think that this one's just better. I think we want damage. Okay, once per battle, enemy hero phase. So this is a once per game in your enemy's hero phase. So you could use this if your opponent is going first. You can use this ability. Sneaky-in. This unit can use the normal move or retreat ability as if it were your movement phase. In addition, no mortal damage is inflicted. So you get a hero phase move. This sounds like a Vulture boss. Being able to move that far. Where is it? Kill boss and corpse rip a Vulture. Being able to move 12 inches before the game has started. Before your opponent has like done their move is a lot, right? This is a lot. This is quite strong. I don't know if it's stronger than the Mavine. I'm unsure. Sorry, I just had to step away for a sec. Okay, Mavine, good. Toughen, not as good. Sneaky-in. The thing with Sneaky-in is that, like, in my mind, it's like a normal move or a retreat in the enemy hero phase is really strong. I'm just having a hard time seeing how it's going to be used, right? Like, when is this going to be really busted and super, super good? It feels like it's going to be really good, but again, it's like, it's only once. So it's like, what, your Vulture boss is going to run up the flanks in your opponent's phase and take the flanks. You're not going to do that with Seize the Center, right? You're not going to throw that into your opponent's face. You can run out and tag objectives depending on the battle plans, right? Like, there's lots of play here, but I think without the context of the rest of the GHB, it's hard to make a decision here. So let me know what you think in the comments below. It feels like it's going to be really strong, but I mean, the damage from Mavine is good, but again, you can just use all-out attack. Don't forget, too, that Prize Beast might not exist. Probably won't exist in this upcoming GHB, right, from this summer, because all of this doesn't come into effect until the summer. So, I don't know. But, like, we can agree that at least these two feel good, right? Ganging Up, right, feels good, and Mavine and Sneaky-in both feel quite strong. So, that's good, right? Sneaky-in probably will, like, I don't know. They feel good. Okay, up next we got 2 Warscrolls. So first we're going to look at Swamp Boss Scumdrek. So I think that I'm just going to pull up this. Okay, so Swamp Boss Scumdrek, his core stats haven't changed, right? So 4 up to save, 8-inch move, 15 health, and 5 control. His attacks have changed. He lost the bite attack. So he does have hit the Snatch a Stick, 5s and 4s, 1 rend, 2 damage, and the Slop Claws, Bite, and Talon, so they combine it into 1. So it's 6 attacks, so he did 4s and 2s, 1 rend, 3 damage. So it's kind of a combination of those two attacks. Before he would have a combined of 7, now it's 6, but it is a nice flat 3 damage. It used to be D3 plus 3. However, it now has crit mortals. You can see that crit mortals, he has it on both of his attacks. So this is 11 crit mortals. So if we're going to average about 5 crit mortals between these two attacks. A little bit less than that, right? A little bit less than that, right? Like, you know, whatever it's gonna be. No, like sorry. Yeah, we're gonna on average hit with each one once. So it's gonna be like 4.9 crit mortals on average, which is significant. And you can also spike. Having a crit mortal with 3 damage is scary, right? Like, it's scary. Like, all of us, it's like, oop, I hit you 3 times, 3 6s. It's not very likely, right? But we'll keep reading. He has a battle damage thing, right? Brings this 6 attacks down to 4 attacks. Pretty standard. So he has a passive called Rigged Odds. The first time you fail the dirty trick roll each turn, give this unit 1 betting chip. And each time you make a dirty trick roll for an ability that targets a unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit, it doesn't say friendly or enemy. It just says that targets a unit. You can spend any number of betting chips. For each betting chip you spend, add 1 to the dirty trick roll. So to me, this looks really scary for the strike last, right? Like, if you fail your tricks, like early on in the first battle round, you can just sort of spam all the tricks if there's nothing that's really important to you, right? Like, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, for the first battle round, I'm just gonna spam tricks and try to build up some betting chips. And then after I have some betting chips, it's like, for each time you make a dirty trick roll. So do you get to make, it sounds to me, each time you make a dirty trick roll for an ability that targets you with, you can spend, so do you get to roll first? That matters. Do you get to roll first and then spend the betting chips? Or do you have to spend the betting chips before you roll? Each time you make a dirty trick roll, you can spend chips. So after? You can do it after? That's how I read this, but we'll need clarification here because that matters a lot. It's like, oh, like, because again, like, you're probably not going to be using this for sneak or venom encrusted weapons. You could be using this, in my opinion, more likely for lethal surprise or for noisy racket if your opponent is coming into your castle, right? So that matters a lot. But still, this ability's okay. It's gonna matter sometimes, but it's gonna be Murphy's Law. When you need this to matter, you won't have any betting chips because you will have passed all your dirty tricks. It's also weird to try to drive up your dirty trick roll on purpose to fail. So, but it will hedge against like just really bad luck in a game. So it's something. It's a way of adding dirty trick rolls off in the middle of in the battlefield, right? Okay, so here's a rampage. Once per turn, army, any combat phase. He's unique, so you can only take 1 anyway. That's irrelevant. Okay, pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Okay, roll a die. If the roll is less than or equal to the number of models in the target unit. So if they're a unit of 10, it's an auto succeed. If they're a unit of 6, it's an auto succeed. So this is like against lots of targets. This is basically guaranteed. And then against like individual monsters and individual heroes, this is a guaranteed fail. So this only works going into non-hero units. This could basically say non-hero units, I think. For the rest of the turn, each time this unit uses an attack ability, if all of the attacks target that enemy unit, the one that you picked, those attacks score critical hits on unmodified rolls of 5-ups. Wow. So this changes this melee profile. We're going from an average of like 5 mortal wounds to an average of 10 mortal wounds. I'll say that again. We're going to an average of 10 mortal wounds. 10 mortal wounds before damage. This is also like the rend. Oops, the rend isn't great. What did I just open? The rend isn't great, but if we're targeting, this guy's very anti-infantry. This guy is heavily anti-infantry. He's gonna mow through bricks. Wow. I'll say that it's an average of 10 mortal wounds. If I roll 6 dice and I get 3 5s and 6s, and if I roll 5 dice and I get 2 5 and 6s, right? Like, nom nom nom. Yep. And then don't forget too that if I have a unit of gut rippers beside them and they have venom encrusted weapons and they're using gang up, like we're throwing lots. We're a Are we a Mortal Wound blender again? 20 models, 3 attacks each, times 0.33, right? Because this is with Venom Encrusted Weapons. It's like 20 mortal wounds. Like, Scumdrek and a reinforced unit of Gut Rippas are going to deal 30 mortal wounds. Is that right with Gang Up? 20 Gut Rippas, right? At 3 attacks each, 60 attacks. And then a third of those are going to be Venom Encrusted Weapon mortals, plus an average of 10 from Scumdrek. I think we're a Mortal Wound blender again. This is a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage. You can't take any of the monster things on this guy, right? But this is significantly better than the other one, than Swamp Boss, than Sludge Raker, right? Snatcher Boss on Sludge Raker Beast. Scumdrek is now significantly better. This is a lot of damage. Save your all-out defenses. People are going to be targeting him. You can't pick any enhancements on him, right? But he does have 15 health. You can give him +1 save with a Swamp Kala, right? So, like, you can stack this up. You could have a Merc Knob in the back, right? 6-up ward on this stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Blender go burr. I like it. Okay, last but not least, we have a kill boss on Great Gnashtooth. So, the profile, his basic profile hasn't changed. Sorry, I have the wrong thing pulled up on my other side, on my other screen here. So yeah, 3 to save, 10-inch move, 10 health, 2 control. Pretty good. I really like the 3-up save, right? He's one of the only things in the book that has a 3-up save. He has a nice amount of wounds. He's fast, right? He's generally pretty good. His core stats are pretty good. His base profile is exactly the same, except for his boss skewer also has anti-hero +1 rend. Right, so they added an anti-hero +1 rend. Once per turn, army, so you can't do this with multiple of this. Right, so you'll probably only want 1 Gnashtooth. In your movement phase, if this unit is wholly within 6 inches of the battlefield edge, remove this unit from the battlefield and set up again wholly within 6 inches of the battlefield edge and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So he has a board edge teleport. Wholly within 6, right? Of the battlefield edge, and then outside of 9. That's pretty powerful. Teleports are good. This guy looks like he wants to take the flank on turn 1 and then teleport somewhere. Let's see what else he's got. Drag him out. Declare, pick an enemy infantry hero in combat with this unit to be the target. Okay. Roll 2d6. This unit can move a distance in inches up to the value of the roll. Then, if possible, your opponent must remove the target from the battlefield and set up again within 1 inches of the unit. So he like jumps in, hits an infantry hero, and then moves 2d6 and drags him out of combat, and then fights him. Can you move out of combat with other units? It doesn't say this. It can end the move out of combat. Right? Because if you can like jump in and hit a screen, but you're 3 inches of the infantry hero on the other side of the screen, and then you book it 2d6 back the other direction, away from the enemy, and then you drag the hero with you, that's awesome. And then you have like anti-hero +1 rend, so you're like 4s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. Like you're killing all the little wizards, and you're teleporting in behind them. Is there an interaction here with Sneaky In? It's like, and then I can also just take Sneaky In on him, and then I can dip before my opponent can clap back at me, and I can, or even better, it's like if I kill the enemy. Also, this prowl in the flanks doesn't say you have to be out of combat. So, like, you can be within 6 inches of the battlefield edge, like, behind your opponent's lines, jump in, hit a screen, tag an infantry hero, drag the hero back to within 6 inches of the battlefield edge, and then dip. You need to succeed a 9-inch charge to do that, right? But a 50-50 chance is a reroll, right? 9 inches with a reroll is 50-50. So it's like you keep your opponent on their toes. You can also like teleport in and like set it up for future turns. Like, this is really interesting, actually. We'll have to see what the rest of the, like, so here's the thing too about evaluating these things is that we lack context. We don't have the rest of the GHB to like really assess how good this is, because there might be some like those new battle tactic cards or other things that are happening. But I like it. I think it's really neat. It's super flavorful. Its teleporting is powerful. Movement is powerful. Mortal wounds are powerful. Like it's just, you know, adding +1 to hit for companion weapons. Sneaking is really powerful. And ganging up is super powerful. Like, these are strong. Are we back? We might be back. Like, subscribe. Wow.